Present indicative of irregular verbs. We're going to look at some verbs that are irregular, and some of them might have different irregularities, but one thing that you'll notice for almost all of them, with the exception of ir, so everything except for ir is going to be regular in nosotros and vosotros. So if you look at these, notice how the irregularities don't reach nosotros and vosotros. These are the spellings you would expect if these verbs were regular. Okay, and see that? Go all the way across, you see they stay regular. Same thing for these verbs here, they stay regular. Okay. So ir is one big fat exception. Ir is all on its own. Luckily though, you can still see a pattern. There's V all around, even though there's no V here. Ir means to go. Okay, oops. And so you see the V repeated all the way down. It's almost like an AR verb. And notice how it looks very similar to the verb dar. Okay. And we'll start with these first. So some verbs, they're only irregular in the yo form, actually. So that's one thing that's happening here. Actually, estar is going to be a little bit different, but we'll look at these yo forms over here too. These are irregular verbs, but they're only irregular in the yo form. And one way to remember them is by calling them the go verbs. Okay? The go verbs are only irregular for yo. So first we have yo hago, but then we'll have tú haces. Él hace. It becomes regular after that. Yo pongo. Okay, that's the verb poner. Tú pones, etc. Everything else is regular. Only the yo form is irregular. So then estar is actually a little bit different. It looks regular. It's an AR verb, and it has AS here, A. Okay, it has A all around. The yo form is irregular. The irregularity comes in that for tú, él, ella, usted, and ellos, ellas, ustedes, you have to put an accent. Other than that, it looks like what you would expect, with the exception of estoy. Okay. Now coming up to these verbs here. Okay, let's look at these stem changes. These and these. We will have one of the vowels become two vowels. So this one vowel becomes two. And again, that won't happen for nosotros, vosotros. Quiero, quieres, quiere, quieren are irregular. Queremos, queréis are not. Okay? So perder, it's going to happen to this I. Pierdo. Pierdes, pierde. Pensar, yo pienso, tú piensas. Okay. Despertarse, this is something we're going to look at, a reflexive verb we're going to look at in the next video, but it also has that irregularity. Here you have actually two E's, so make sure that you make this one go through that change, that stem change, E to IE. So these are verbs that also have one vowel become two, O becomes UE. Poder, puedo, puedes, puede, pueden. Okay, and we see the same changes everywhere except nosotros, vosotros. Then finally we have these stem changes, E to I. And they're very similar, these verbs, except that digo, or the seed, is irregular times 2. Why is it times 2? Because it's also irregular here in the yo form. Remember these other verbs that are irregular in the yo form, and that's it? Or this one is like the go verbs, but then it also has the stem change throughout except for nosotros, vosotros. So rather than saying yo digo with a C, it's yo digo with a G. And this has a similar change except that the yo form is not different. There's no G there.